Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Voke Tefe, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about a book by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie titled Dear Ijeawele, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. So today, first of all, by the title of the book, it's obvious, or it reveals the content of the book already. It's definitely about feminism, and Chimamanda is a household name when it comes to anything feminist talks, and she never ever shies away from the topic, which is feminism. And I particularly love the way she taught feminism in this book, because she used an approach that is really relatable and understandable at the same time. And I really love the book. Like, this is my fourth time reading this same book, and it's really handy, quite small. It's just something you can put in a bag and take anywhere you want to: the shop, the farm, the marketplace, church, anywhere. It's really handy and quite small. It's a few pages. It's something you keep on reading, and you just enjoy it. You don't have to, you can't stop until you reach the 15th suggestions. Okay, with that, we'll dive straight up to the first suggestion Chimamanda wrote out in her book, Dear Ijeawele. The first suggestion, from my own summary, it simply talks about motherhood in general. Or I actually think I will actually say parenting instead of motherhood, because this book is not just for mothers or a particular age grade. I think it's for everyone in particular, male, female, irrespective of your age, where you come from, because it's really relatable and so understandable. And I love the fact that Chimamanda wrote her suggestions in simple English language. Okay, the first suggestion she talked about, in sum, it says, go easy on yourself. Motherhood takes practice. And I particularly love this suggestion, like other suggestions, because it's understandable that everyone in a world where everything is so complicated, parenting is like a chore that you just want to run away from, because you don't know if you're going to fail at it, or you just want to be the perfect mom or dad. And it's quite okay to fail in parenting. I especially liked when Chimamanda said use trial and error, because that's just the basic truth. Even though we like to kid ourselves, but most things in life we actually do trial and error. If you fail, you can always retrace your steps and make better decisions. It's not going to be all rosy. Parenting is not rosy. I'm not a parent myself, but I really like this first suggestion, because it kind of prepared me for the road ahead. I know I can never be fully prepared, of course, but I just got to understand that go easy on yourself. There's no need beating yourself over parenting. Easy. It's okay to, Chimamanda pointed out also in his first suggestion, that it's okay to ask questions, to learn from other older people, or even younger people as well. It's okay to read books, to check up on the internet. It's not like you should have a guide on parenting, no, but at least you can ask others that have experienced or gone down the road before you, and it's really nice. Moving on to the second suggestion quickly. Here, Chimamanda points out equality in parenting. This is really essential. And talking about, or from the point of view of my immediate environment, I say this point is very necessary. We can't keep kidding ourselves that parenting is like a one-sided thing, that the mother has to do or women have to do certain chores. And I like the fact that a lot of dads I see on Instagram, they're becoming hands-on dads, and it's really amazing. It's really beautiful to see. Moving on to the third suggestion, Chimamanda talks about striking out gender roles and gender segregation. Just like the second suggestion, there's no such thing as gender roles. or gender segregation. Everything. There's no just like Chimamanda mentioned in her TED talk, we should all be feminists. She said, a girl child. I'm just paraphrasing. A girl child does not come with the cooking gene, and that's just the honest to God fact. You can't say that certain roles are for certain or a particular gender. It's really absurd, and I think the society really needs to hear this, that there's no such thing as gender roles, and gender segregation is nonsense. Fourth suggestion says talks about feminism light. And I quote from the book. Chimamanda explained feminism light as, she says, beware the danger of what I call feminism light. It is the idea of conditional female equality. Please reject this entirely. Feminism light is so rampant in the Nigerian society. Very, very rampant. People always turn to say, oh, it's okay, you can do this if her husband allows it. And Chimamanda and myself, I get confused with this kind of thing. Like, you are either here or there. You can't say I am feminism. I'm a feminist to a certain level. When it comes to a certain point, I'm no longer a feminist. You can only be a feminist or you are not. You can only believe in the equality of the genders. You can only believe in the fundamental human rights of both male and female. You can't say, oh, it's okay for this and not okay for that, or for the other gender. It's really absurd. You can't sit on the fence when it comes to feminism or human rights, if I can use that word. You're either here or there. That's what basically this fourth suggestion is trying to point out, in my opinion. And the fifth suggestion says, talks about Chimamanda emphasizes on importance of reading. I love this fifth suggestion. Why? Because I was a child who loved to read at an early stage in my life, and I still love to read, obviously, but I really wish that my parents paid me money each per page, just like Chimamanda pointed out in the book, when she said that she has a friend, Angela, who pays. Let me read it out. And I quote, if all else fails, pay her to read. Reward her. I know this remarkable Nigerian woman, Angela, a single mother who was raising her child in the United States. Her child did not take to reading, so she decided to pay her 5 cents per page. An expensive endeavor, she later joked, but a worthy investment. Imagine my parents invested in me like that. I would have been so grateful. But that's by the wayside. Anyway, I still learned a lot from books. I really, really appreciated that. I remember just swallowing myself in my dad's books. I didn't really completely understand those books, but it was really nice. Just trying and being interested alone, it was okay. But I really think parents should consider this fifth suggestion. Encourage your children to read. It's really, really nice, and it will be worth it at the long run. Sixth suggestion: teach her to question language. By this, Chimamanda means that there are words or certain phrases that has underlying meanings that belittle femininity. And I totally agree with this, although a lot of people won't agree with me. I particularly hate it when men come and say, we are hot. Like, I'm hot. I don't like that. You didn't see other things to say about me? Like, nothing else? You just say, oh, you have a banging body. It's not really nice. I don't really like that. Chimamanda made an example with a friend who says, and I quote, let me just start from the first paragraph. Teach her to question language. Language is the repository of our prejudices, our beliefs, our assumptions. But to teach her that you have to question your own language. A friend of mine once said, a friend of mine says she will never call her daughter princess. People mean well when they say this, but princess is loaded with assumption of a girl's delicacy, of the prince who will come to save her, etc. This friend prefers angel and star, and I think it makes sense. I move on to the 7th suggestion, which says never speak of marriage as an achievement. I always say this to my mom, and she gives me that dirty look like, are you out of your mind? What's not an achievement? But it's only fair that if you want to speak of marriage as an achievement, it should go both ways. It takes two to tango. You can't tell me that you prepare a girl for marriage and the boy is not told that, oh, you have to prepare for marriage as well. You can't teach a girl that you have to sweep, you have to learn this and you have to learn that. And meanwhile, oh, what, like they always say around where I am, well, what you go do for your husband's house? It's absurd because they don't tell boys that as well. So girls grow up believing or being in this box that they have to prepare themselves for marriage and all that, and it's not really nice. You have to really break that chain or that cycle. I don't know. Eighth suggestion. Women should always be true to themselves and society, even at the risk of being disliked or offending anyone. Chimamanda pointed out in her book that most of the victims of rape, or most people who rape girls, say, oh, she didn't say anything, I thought she liked it or something. Women need to speak up. If you don't like something, say it, at the risk of being called unladylike and all sorts of names. People won't go as far as to say, who is going to get married to this one? It doesn't matter. Whatever you believe in, whatever you know, whatever you understand, just say it. Even at the risk of sounding dumb, just say it out loud. I understand it because I think I fall into this category kind of way. Most of the time, I don't really like speaking my mind, but I started to learn it recently. That if whatever comes to my mind, or if I feel this way, if I'm uncomfortable with something, I have to speak up. I have to say it. And so far, it has been working for me well. With that, I'll move on to the 9th suggestion. Chimamanda emphasizes on embracing Black excellence, embracing her African roots. Having a sense of identity can never be undermined. It is important for you to teach your children, the younger generation, where they come from, to understand their roots. This point cannot be overemphasized. It's really important, and I think every person should take into consideration. Give your children a sense of history. Let them understand where you're coming from. Let them know stuff. It's really paramount. 10th suggestion. The 10th suggestion is about self-awareness and also having the right role models. Having the right role models is really key in life. And also self-awareness it happens a lot. Me as a person, as I started to grow older, as a young girl, as a little girl, I loved dancing. But as I started growing older and puberty kicked in, I really did not like to dance anymore. I just had this self-awareness overshadow me. And Chimamanda made example with people who love to do sports in the book. She talked about when girls when girls their body start changing, they tend to drop sports. Being too self-aware of yourself can immediately insecurity starts creeping in, and it's not healthy at all. With that, I'll move on to the 11th suggestion. The 11th suggestion frowns at selective biology, and I'll quote from the book. We also use evolutionary biology to explain male promiscuity, but not to explain female promiscuity. Even though it really makes evolutionary sense for women to have many sexual partners, the larger the genetic pool, the greater will be the chances of bearing offspring who will thrive. once it comes to issues of feminism or equality, people tend to bring in biology. If they don't bring in biology, they bring in culture. Or it has always been like that. What's the need of trying to change now? And I think it's absurd, and I think we should unlearn this part, unlearn a lot of things, especially like selective biology. Also, we'll move on to the 12th suggestion. We say preach sexual education. A lot of parents shy away from sexual education. They don't want to tell you. But I won't blame them. Maybe they just feel, okay, why not protect his or her innocence for as long as possible? But sexual education is needed. It's key in this world that is so complicated. We need you need to teach your children sexual education. Get the languages that works. Try to have conversations with your children once in a while about certain things in the society. It really helps. And the 13th suggestion talks about romantic relationship. Romantic relationship is really like a sensitive topic, especially when it comes to the girl child. No parent wants to know your who you have a crush on. Okay, I'm talking about my immediate environment, actually, where I'm from in Nigeria. They don't even want to hear it. That you are what? You have feelings for who? It's absurd, but I think that it's really needed. It's really, really needed that the girl should know. And romance will happen. Teenagers or humans must have feelings one way or the other. So all parents have to be on board with this. And the 14th suggestion says female misogyny. I'm just paraphrasing, just summarizing it up. Female misogyny exists, and yes, it happens every day. Most people like to play the victim that only males have this misogynistic side of them, but females actually have it in them. When it comes to oppression, there's nobody who is a saint. Male, female, they oppress each other. Females especially oppress, or they'll talk you down. They will tell you are spewing nonsense. So yes, female misogyny exists, honestly. Then in her 15th suggestion, Chimamanda ended this book or her suggestions with this, and I think it's really important and it's really nice when she says, teach her that people are different. And I have been trying to learn this part a lot. People are different. There are some people who like this and some people who like this. Some people who are this way and some people who are the other way. Everybody cannot be like you. And I think that if we could practice this 15th suggestion, the world would be a better place. If we can just love each other no matter what, I think the world will become a better place, and it will be more accommodating for everybody. Yes, so with that, we'll end this discussion. And if you have anything to contribute, feel free to comment. And also, I will encourage you to read more books. And I am on a journey to self-discovery, and I've decided to retrace my steps to love of books. So you'll be hearing from me more often, discussing any book I read and any topic at all that comes to mind. So read more books, especially Chimamanda. She's really nice, and her books are really wholesome and really unique and straight to the point. I just really love her books. She's my favorite African author. And with that, I say, see ya, bye, love you all.